Hey, what's going on, guys? Echo, and welcome back to another episode of this F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Today we have the Singapore Grand Prix, and yeah, last time out, a very good result. But in today's episode, oh, it gets good. Believe me, you're going to want to watch, especially the last two laps. But at the moment, we are just sorting our activities. We're just looking about, see what we can do. Like I said in the last episode, we need to start saving for the rules and regulations because they will be arriving at any time. And yeah, we're just going to sim ahead now. There's not really anything to do. It's very quick. We've got low cash as well. I think we just picked up a new facility. So yeah, like I say, there's not a lot left to do, because you know there's less than a week to go, and yeah, we're already here at the race weekend. And as we get into the race weekend, I was right. Next year's regulations are in, and yeah, it's going to affect all departments by the looks of things. Yeah, multiple departments. So it's going to be interesting. So we need to start saving up now, and just hope that that we get lucky. We've got quite a few. We've got quite a lot of R&D points, especially with Jenson Button in the race seat. His experience is helping out quite a lot for the team. But yeah, getting ready for Q1 around Singapore. I'll tell you something, this was a grind. 31 laps around here was a pain in the arse. But we persevered. But anyway, the first lap, car seemed actually quite good. For once, I actually enjoyed racing around here. Even though it was a grind and the laps were really long, it was nice. And as we set a 1:36.0 in our first attempt, and then yeah, our second attempt was so much quicker. It was about a second quicker. I did make a few mistakes on that first run. Even then, on our first run, we're still 19th. But as we cross the line, we are going to qualify in P14 and see ourselves into Q2. So we are starting to get into the Q2 a little bit more often. And we're so much quicker than our teammate. We're half a second quicker than them. So, yeah. The car seems like, you know, it's from where it was. Okay, I know that in the first race in Bahrain, we picked up a couple of points. But compared to then to now, the car seems so much better. It's still got some work still on the aero side of things, but you know, we're going to get there. Our first run in Q2 was on the mediums, where we'd set a 36.1, so it was actually quicker than our, well, it was a tenth slower than our soft run in Q1 on our first run. But then in Q2, I mean our second one in Q2, should I say, it was a little bit dodgy. We made a couple of mistakes. We still go quicker, obviously, but as we cross the line, we don't get into Q3, unfortunately. And yeah, we qualify in P15 ahead of the Alfa Romeo. So it's about right, you know, as long as we're qualifying ahead of the Alfa Romeos and getting close to the Alfa Tauris, which we are, then I'm okay. There was definitely some more time to be found in that, but yeah, I mean, Mick Schumacher actually doing well to getting into P12. Esteban Ocon, of course, the Hungarian Grand Prix race winner recently, is yeah, is all the way down in P11. But yeah, that's qualifying done. It's now time to get into the race. Make sure you like, subscribe, and yeah, let's do it.
Against the spectacular backdrop of the Singapore skyline, Formula One returns once again to do battle in what tends to become something of an endurance race, with the notorious sauna-like temperatures in the cockpit making for an extremely physically challenging Grand Prix. The Marina Bay Street Circuit then has 23 corners, 13 to the left and 10 to the right, taking us a total of 3.1 miles around the landmarks of downtown Singapore. An average lap speed around here, just 107 miles per hour. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Norris, Sebastian Vettel and Perez, Stroll, Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, the rookie and Kimi Raikkonen, Sainz, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi and Fernando Alonso. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Mazepin, Ocon, Mick Schumacher and Yuki Tsunoda. Button, they've taken a grid penalty. Latifi, Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Okay, Jeff, I certainly will do my best. So, one-stop strategy then. And, yeah, I was playing around with it for a little bit because I knew that the hards were definitely going to be a usable tyre for this race. But, yeah, it was looking like it was going to be a hards to mediums. But as you can see here, it is doable to do hards to soft. It's going to be a lot slower, but it's possible. Of course, those around us are starting on softs, most of them. And a lot of them will do a two-stop strategy because, you know, it is the faster option, most likely. I didn't actually look to see a hard, medium, soft or hard, soft, soft. I don't think a hard, soft, soft would have actually worked. As you know, it probably would have if a hard, soft works, but let's wait and see, though, to see how this goes. But 5 lights are out and away we go. We're starting in P9 because there was a lot of penalties. But yeah, we get away cleanly as we go around the outside / inside of Lance Stroll. But unfortunately we can't hold on to that position, or do we? No, we don't. So, oh, hang on, we're going down the inside and we get past. So there we go then. P8, what a start for us. Our teammate though is all the way down in P20, unfortunately. So hopefully he can come back through as Lance Stroll is looking for a move down the outside, but we cut him off, and then Kimi Raikkonen says thank you very much, I'll take that position. So the Alfa Romeos are looking strong. Well, one of the Alfa Romeos is looking strong, shall I say. It's a lovely overhead camera shot there. Very nice indeed. But yeah, we've had a good start, up a place already. Of course, we should have started in P15, so was there? To be fair, I'm just doing a voiceover and I've skipped past the intro bit, so I didn't know if those around us had penalties or not. I would have thought so. I'm not too sure. Probably not. I don't know. You would have known though. But yeah, so far so good though. P8. Obviously, we're not going to catch up to Verstappen, Vettel, Perez. Those ahead of us. But yeah, you can just see how much slower we are than the top runners, which is kind of sad, but it's okay. Like I say, unfortunately our teammate is all the way down in P20, so we're definitely the better driver here. No offence to you, Jensen. But yeah, coming up to the end of the first lap then, and Bottas is in the lead with Hamilton in second, Charles Leclerc third, Lando Norris fourth, Perez fifth, Vettel sixth, and Verstappen seventh ahead of us. And then yeah, we've got Raikkonen, Stroll behind us, and yeah, so far so good. And obviously we're the only one actually starting on the hard tyres, which is kind of weird, but I'm okay with that. On to lap 4 then, skip ahead a couple of laps, and as you can see we're still ahead of Raikkonen and Stroll, but Raikkonen's going to try and look for a move here down this long straight. Of course DRS is now activated as it's lap 4, but yeah, we've got the pace advantage still. We still need, like I say, to work on the aero side of things, especially for the drag reduction. And yeah, using manual gears on the controller around here was so tough. It really, really was. But yeah, on to lap number 6 then, and we're still ahead. And to be fair, it looks like we're actually catching up to those ahead of us. So I don't know if someone ahead has got any wing damage. It might be Vettel that's got some wing damage. I'm not too sure. That's affecting his performance slightly through the corners. And yeah, somehow we're still in we're actually in P7 now, because I think those a couple of people ahead of us actually pitted. And yeah, lap 12 then we skip ahead quite a few laps, because it was pretty much the same thing over and over again, so I was like, there's no point in keeping it in the video. And yeah, we're into P2 now, as all know, P3, because Hamilton's going to look for a move down the inside. We stay ahead of him, but then we've got Bottas now behind, and again we are leading the race. Who'd have thought? We're actually leading the race now, with Hamilton now looking for a move down the inside, and our teammate is in the pits as well, so he's doing a two-stop most likely. And oh, we get squeezed by both Mercedes, but we're still going to hold it on. We'll go quite deep, but we'll keep it on the track. And yeah, on to lap 14 then, and we've still got Valtteri Bottas. We're going to brake late as he's taking a narrow line. For some reason it's skipped then, so I'm not too sure why. But the joys of recording on the PlayStation. And Jenson Button is out of the race. He's got an engine issue. The reliability on this car this year is not great whatsoever. Let's hope that doesn't happen to us today. And yeah, and during that, Bottas has got past us now, so we're down to P2, and it's going to be only a matter of time before Hamilton takes us. And yeah, on to lap 17 then. We're somehow still ahead of Hamilton and Leclerc, who are gaining on us quick. Looks like Leclerc is doing a one-stop strategy as well. And here we go then. Lewis Hamilton round the outside, and we close the door, and we're somehow still ahead of Lewis Hamilton, as we're on to lap 18 now. And I don't know how we're doing this, but we're keeping him behind 18 lap old softs. And it's about this time we're going to get called into the pits. But I was feeling quite confident on these tyres still. Like, they wasn't too worn, as Hamilton's now going to look for a move around the outside. But we brake a lot later. And look at that, Charles Leclerc is going to try and take advantage as well. But yeah, we just hold on to P2. With Leclerc now in front of Lewis Hamilton by the looks of things. No, Hamilton is still ahead. Lap 20, yeah, this is the point where we should have pitted. And yeah, we actually seem to be doing alright on these tyres. I think by this point there's about 35-40% worn. I think more like around the 35 mark. And yeah, we're still actually holding our own. And we're slowly now starting to pull away from those behind, with the medium tyres now becoming a bit more worn than the hards by now, I'd say. Don't get me wrong, these tyres were starting to wear out now. But I was like, you know what, we can actually do the softs, because the softs will last about 7 or 8 laps. So yeah, on lap 23, we're still holding on to P2 somehow. Of course, with Bottas ahead, still need to pit. You know, we could finish ahead of one of the Mercedes in this race. It'll be a big ask, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely doable. Unfortunately, Leclerc is on the hard, so he'll have the option as well. But it's time for us to pit. Hamilton already pitted, and Bottas is also in the pits. Well, he's on the soft, so yeah, we've somehow done 25 laps on this set of tyres. That is absolutely incredible. As we come in and go onto the softs for about 5 laps, 5-6 laps, and yeah, we're going to be quick. We're going to be very, very quick compared to those. Oh, actually, no, saying that though, everyone else is around us is on softs. So, but yeah, we come out in 6th place, which is incredible. And because it's so difficult here to overtake, it's going to be absolutely perfect for us. As on the next lap, on to lap 27, we are looking very, very strong. We've got Sergio Perez though behind us, who's putting us under a lot of pressure as we go through this section here. And oh, what's going to happen? Sergio Perez goes into the back of us. I thought that might have been my fault, but I was watching that back and it wasn't actually my fault. Sergio Perez went straight into the back of us, almost took us out of the race. So, safety car came out. And now with 2 laps remaining, we most likely have a chance for a podium here. So, this is the part I was on about, guys. Sit back and try to relax, because there is 2 laps to eventually, well, possibly, shall I say, get a podium. Of course, Vettel and Verstappen are on softs. Lando Norris is on the mediums. So, Norris is going to be holding up Vettel and Verstappen, whilst we are hopeful of getting into a situation where we can take advantage as we go down the inside of Sebastian Vettel and we take P5. Okay, this is becoming more of a possibility now. This is squeaky bum time. Okay, can we get P3 in this race? It'll be so good if we can. We've had so much bad luck this season, as we're almost going to the back of Max Verstappen. Would have been a bit of payback, to be fair. But yeah, not looking to do anything stupid. As you know, even if we don't get P3 in this race, P5 would be good. P4 would be better, but obviously P3 is the main goal here for our first podium of the season, and here for Echo Motorsports. But yeah, going underneath the bridge now, and the car seems stable enough, to be fair. But there wasn't really any options at the moment to overtake, as we're about to go on to the final lap of the race. 2 laps on this, it's unheard of here on this channel. So we'll go a little bit wide. The car was a little bit slidey through the final section. But yeah, looking for a move down the inside of Max Verstappen. Still can't get it done yet. But we've still got an opportunity down the DRS section. Of course, there is no DRS enabled due to there being a safety car. Would have been next lap that it could have been available. But at the moment, though, Charles Leclerc is leading with Bottas in second, Norris in third, Verstappen in fourth, and ourselves in fifth. And here we go then. Are we going to go for a massive dive? Yes, we are. He locks up and we make a little bit of contact. We were very, very aggressive on that overtake. But you know what? Sometimes you got to make these moves. And Vettel now drops down to P6. Verstappen drops down to P6. Vettel takes advantage of that and moves up himself into P5. But now we are within striking distance of Lando Norris. Can we do it then? Just going to use everything we've got. Use all the battery. We are sort of closing in, but it might be a little bit too little too late. I think one more lap and we could have had him. I mean, don't get wrong, there's still an opportunity, still make a mistake. As now we go to the bridge. Underneath the bridge we go. He gets a little bit wayward. We actually keep it nicely on track. And you can just see how close we are to actually overtaking him. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen. But even though we don't get P3, we do finish in P4.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
What an exciting end to the race that was. P4, the best we've done this season. And yeah, Leclerc finishes in first, second was Bottas, Lando Norris in third. Sales P4, Vettel fifth, Verstappen sixth. George Russell getting P7, Gasly in 9th, Alonso in 10th. Taking a look though at the championship standings, and it's pretty much sealed for Lewis Hamilton. Just needs to get at least 2 points in his next race. Well, sorry, at least 1 point, I'd say. No, 2 points in his next race, I'd say, and he's won the championship. We move ourselves up to P12, so we're looking very good here. And our teammate, unfortunately, is dropped down to P18. Unfortunately, of course, he had the DNF. Mercedes, though, they're close to win the title. They could do it next race with McLaren actually in P2. So fair play to them. And yeah, we hold on to P8. But yeah, what a race! Told you guys that the ending would be very dramatic. But yeah, but there we go, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, like, also as well, subscribe to the channel for F1 content. And yeah, enjoy the highlights. See ya.